What's up, everyone? Nether back with more Factorio for you. Episode 16. Really pumped today to record. As you can see, I've been very busy off camera in the background here. And we will get to that shortly. But I wanted to talk very quickly about what we did last episode. We'll go over it on the list real quick, and then I'll show you. So last episode, we did green and red chips. Those builds. Am I in? I'm not. Am I not in? Okay, let's show you those builds really fast here. They're down here, as you can see. We belted up the copper wire, which you're not supposed to do, but we did it anyway, and made a great green chipset build out of that, and also a red chipset build. Pretty awesome, pretty amazing stuff. Pretty awesome builds there. That's pretty much all we did on the actual episode, which is kind of interesting. Because I had to do a lot of extra work, and I'm going to try to avoid that on this episode. Off camera, in between episodes, I also added, well, actually, I did this during the episode. I added an iron ore supplement train to the main bus right here because we basically ran this patch almost empty, and the main bus was suffering. So I'm training in iron ore now. Also, I already know I did this because I literally just did it. I had to do the same thing with stone because I couldn't get track. Track was basically didn't have any stone to create track with, so I had to supplement the stone over here as well. Eventually, I'll have to supplement copper too, just not right this second. But I'm thinking I'll probably just bring it in right here, probably right next to this, and just run the belt all the way down. Then we don't have to worry anymore about our bus running out of materials. We'll be set and fine until we get, base 2.5 really up to speed is what's going on. I also kind of rebuilt this area, cleaned it up a little bit. You can see it looks a little nicer. I really want to drain this ore out right here, this last of this initial coal we have here. So I actually prioritize the input to that coal so that when we're running our forges, we're eating this coal first. So that's kind of what I did there. The last thing I did was create this 2-car train for building with. This is like a resupply train that I'll probably grow into 4 cars eventually. And as I build probably base 3.0 when we do our 100 size city blocks, I think each city block is going to have a stop for my guys so that when I'm on a move to a different city block, I can just bring my whole resupply train and I don't have to go back to base all the time. In fact, that might be a good way to just resupply myself and have a mobile base and not have to have a base where I have to go back to and resupply. I'll just have a mobile base. I might do that. Put in the comment section if that's what you do. How do you bring your supplies around so you can build with? I guess once you have robots, you just put something down and you don't even have to get close to it. The robots build it. I've never been that advanced. I've had robots, but I've never been so advanced that my guy could just stand in the middle of the map and I could build anywhere I wanted. I've never had that, so we'll see how that works. I also tapped a 3rd iron vein, which I'll show you over here. I know we already talked about it, but I did do that off camera. That's the 6 million one right here. I think it was 6 point something when I started, obviously. It's a giant vein, so that's going to be pretty awesome for us. We won't run out for a long, long time. And that's pretty much what I did off camera. Today, what we're going to do is, and I've already got all the logistics prepared, is do the gears, yellow belt, and yellow inserter. We're really trying to get science ready to go, and you can see I've already started working on that. And then we're also going to try to get this engine build going. I haven't finished this. I'll probably have to do it in between cuts here and finish this build up. And then after that, we're ready for science. As you can see, I've already got red going. We'll get red, green, and blue on here. I probably should do black at the same time, but I don't have that. It's not in the plan because I'm trying to go straight to bots. Black is not something I don't think we need black to get bots. I think it's just red, green, blue. So that's probably what we'll end up doing. So let's get to it. I'm already over here. I'm already ready to go. It's time to start building. It's time to duel. I never really watched Yu-Gi-Oh, but my sons did a lot. And so, when you have kids, you end up watching whatever they're watching just because it's on, basically. I mean, that's really the reason. But I loved the things they would say because they were just hilarious. Like Yu-Gi-Oh, when his blue eyes white dragon would die, he would go, "Not my blue eyes!" It'd be hilarious. And so I'd make fun of him, kind of. And then, so my oldest son, Andrew, started to make fun of him, too. Because it's just, once you think about it that way, Yugi sounds like a dumbass. like, Yugi, you're a dumbass. But one of the things he would say when he'd transform into Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever he would transform, I don't know. He would become a man or something like that. I don't know how that really worked. I didn't pay that close of attention. But he would say, like, "Yo, move, Kai." But they just had some really iconic one-liners in that show that I really loved. And I'm a big one-liner fan. I love one-liners. I love movies that have one-liners like Talladega Nights. I love that movie because of its great one-liners. It's the plot is dumb. All the actual things about it are dumb, but the one-liners are really cool. So, ooh, no, that's not what I wanted. Oh man, I did that wrong. What? That's what I thought. I want to do this. Okay. So that when I run all the way down, and I should really do this with my builds because what I end up doing is having to run up and down the thing later. Just if you, before you paste, you know, put all the things in, okay? That's probably smarter. All right, so this is going to go really quickly. I mean, we're only 5 minutes in, and this first build is going to be done very quickly. You know what oh, no, it's not. Famous last words as he jacks it up. That is so typical, man. Oh, no, dude. Dude, I can't even build when it's ghosted. Like, how bad of a player are you? If you, come on, brah. All right, there we go. Jeez, man. All right, cool. Let's get at least this line in, I guess. You know what we need to do is get the train inbound with some iron ore for us, or some iron plate. So one thing I also did is I've restricted these builds. So the builds are large geographically still, but they're not going to be as heavy of a resource draw because we don't need, like if you look at, and I figured this out when I was putting in this stone thing. I limited this thing to like, or that's not stone. This is the stone I just did, supplemental stone build. I limited it to 1 row in each box. And then I found out, oh, 1 row in each box per train car is more than a whole train car. It was already more than 1 whole train's worth. So if you look at my chip, green chip build, this is way overkill. Like, we don't need this much. In fact, why don't we do this? Let's cut this back to like that. I'm not going to need... It didn't do it? There we go. I'm not going to need that much. So then I can just do that. Well, let's make sure that it actually... There we go. And if we look at this, yeah, because I just don't need that much. We did it with red chips over here. This is more than a train's full of red chips. Like, we just don't need that much, man. In fact, why don't we do this too? This is way overkill. These builds are way overkill. And I didn't do it with this one, right? And this is just going to take up too much resources. So I'm, you know, one of the things I need to be sure is I don't need these massive builds right away. And maybe FO, that's what you're talking about. Because this is what's eating up all my resources, right? And I'm not even doing much. I don't even have that many builds yet. Geographic size is important. Like, size is important. I don't want to consume all my space. That's true. But I also don't want to have to go out further and further and get patches further and further away for no reason than just to have 79 full trains of green ships. That's just stupid. So I've got that limited. Let's get a train in here. I did build a bunch of trains off camera because I wanted. Now, what I didn't do, though, is build cars. Let's build 12 cars. I'm not going to have enough steel. We'll have to go back and get more. That's fine. I don't really mind that. Let's get this guy going, though, and get this guy to come back. The main thing here. We need a little bit of this. Let's do half stacks because I don't have that much on me. What we're going to tell this guy is, look, you need to be at electric inbound. No, it's not electric, right? It's low G. We're getting a lot of different plants online now, so this list is getting longer and longer. Inbound plate iron. Is this for everybody? No, this is just for gears. So inbound, let's see, low G gears, inbound plate iron till you're empty. And then you need to go to forge, right? Oops, forge should be right here. Forge outbound plate iron till you're full, right? Full cargo. But you're also going to need the refueler. So why don't you go to refuel first and then go get us some plate, bro. All right, let's keep working on this build. It shouldn't take us very long. We're really good at this, man. And now I feel like I don't run very fast, and we can remedy that by... I'm going to make sure that I put a light there. I'm going to forget. When I get the legs, and again, you need blue to get the legs. So another great reason to rush. You know, once you have blue... Oh, this is a little dicey. Okay. Once you have blue, you unlock so many cool things. So, and I could really do it right now because I have that hand feeder, but I don't want to do the hand feeder, right? I want to do it the automated way. That's the whole point of this damn game, is to automate, not to do things by hand. So one of the things I didn't really talk about is how are we doing this build? So this is a 2-plate in, one gear out situation here. So you can see I have 2 belts of plate coming in and just enough of these dudes, I think it's 15, to eat the whole thing, right? So I've got that. I got the fast inserters because it's 2 per second. So I'm going to need fast to do that. And then I've got the long hands going out because, again, it's 1 per second, so the long hands should be able to keep up with that, especially since they can grab 2 items at a time. So this should be really nice, and it's a really pretty simple build, but it does eat a lot of iron plate, right? So, I mean, that's a very typical thing of these gear builds. All right, are we done? That looks like it. All right, let's turn this thing on, and then we'll watch it rip, and we'll get to the next build. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think the red can keep up. You can see it keeping up right there. It's having a little bit of time waiting. So if we just look into this thing, yeah, we got plenty of plate. It's taking it out fast. This is a good build. At the end, it should eventually barely get enough plate. Wow, this side's got tons. How's that happening? Is something broken? Why is this side so much faster than that side? Usually it's because I broke something. Oh, these are wrong. Okay, that's what it is. So this one's right, but as of that, it's wrong. So always watch your builds, because you could screw it up like I just did, and you wouldn't notice if you don't look at it right away. Trust but verify. Test but verify. See, there we go. There we go. Luckily, this thing was balancing it, so no biggie on that. Okay, now that looks way better. Great. Gears are done, and it's storing up. I want to say, yeah, 3 rows of gears. That should be good for us, I think. That's probably overkill, but again, we might want more. So what I did here is, instead of training, having it request a train of gears and having it move literally right here, I said, you know what? Just put trains on the belt. Just put it back up here. Now we're going to have a slight buffer here. That's awesome, because we're not pulling off the buffer that's supplying the rest of the base. Because it's really almost not impossible, but it's a pain to do. So I said, you know what? I'll just go underground and do it this way. Oh, that's right. That's outbound belts. Okay, we're almost ready to put the build in. And again, I'm going to do one of these, and I'll probably just go off camera for the rest. Let's get this part going. These are assembler 2s. Because it really wasn't worth using assembler 1s. They were way too slow, and it would take up too much space. So again, let's walk this all the way down. We'll just do a full side here, and we don't need this last one. We'll just leave it in. Makes it look nice, right? All right, there we go. Nice. Okay. All right, so the underground's in. Let's get the power in. Again, I had to do like one on either side, because once you have 5 belts, you have to do 2. It won't cover it. At least these won't cover it. What's this? I've been watching this stuff, but it's not that bad. Yeah, we're getting jacked a little bit, but I'm not super concerned, honestly. I just go up there every once in a while and put some new guns in. All right, so we've got all the assemblers in now. Let's get all these inserters in. We might run out. Well, we might run out of long. Let's go get some more long before we start, because this is a very long, heavy build. And I'm pretty sure we have some in here. Yeah, we do, baby. So awesome to have that little train with me at all times. Again, please put in the comment section how you do it, because I'd love to hear how you guys do it. Now, this won't be as intense, right? These are they're fast inserters, but you don't need much. That's all you need. So let's get all these guys in. Oh, no, those are... What? No! We'll see. We'll see if these can be yellow or not. In fact, let's just run one of these to see if yellow will be enough. Yellow inserters. I think this is going to need to be fast inserter, but we will see. Again, because we're not sharing... Right, we're not splitting. We're not putting gears and plate on the same belt. We might get away with it because we have dedicated inserters for both of these, but we will see. So let's put the rest of this in. Now this is gears, and it goes down. Okay, we can just do that. Nice. I love when we can just do it like that. So now I should be able to do this. Oh no, just that. Okay, got it. Now we can do this though. That is correct, because it's going to take a lot of these guys to get us enough gears, I think. Maybe not, and I'm just overkilling that. It's very likely, actually. We're almost done, and I'm really hoping we do have iron, right? Where's the iron guy? Is it the refueler? Where is this train? Where is this guy? Oh, he's stuck. Oh, the refuel. I mean, my resupply train is in the way. So here we go. We got belt coming out, but we're going to have to resupply very soon, so I'm going to need that train. I don't think this guy can keep up. No, these need to be fast inserters. I'm glad we checked that. So we should be getting almost full belts out of this, pretty much. Yeah, we're getting just about full belts. I'd say it's 85%. I'm good with it. That's enough. I mean, we don't really need it to be better than that. And then I'm only taking one, yeah. On finished output like that, one line is enough. It's a whole train. Like, how much more do you need, bro? So that is doing well. Finally, the gears are actually building up quite nicely because we're just not consuming that much of them. So they're starting to build up, which is great. All right, let me do the other builds a little off camera. There's our resupply train, and he's still right in the way. No, bro, go over here. All right, I'm just putting the iron things in right here, and then this should start going if it's built correctly. I think it's backward, though. Yeah, it's backward. All this stuff's backward. So I'm going to have to make sure that I do this a different way. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just copy. Now that I have everything but those in, let's say I don't want you to do this. And then I do want you to do it. So that gets rid of the ghosting. And then I can just do that. Wait. This is backward. So let's take those out too. I need to re-ghost this is what I'm saying here. So what I'll do... Okay, that's good. Let me just copy this now. Right? That's like a complete build. And then punch it in there. And now I should be able to do these guys the correct way here. There we go. And then you got to go like that. Okay, great. Nice. Now they all get iron. There, that's one way to solve that problem. Is just re-ghost it. So I don't have to care, you know? I can just not give a crap. There we go. Now everybody should be running full blast. Awesome. Yep, we can't even pick up fast enough, it looks like. Yep, we're almost done. Cool, let's get to the next build now. Now, the next one is going to require green chips as well. So let's get the green chip guy on the way here. We have tons of green chips now, so it's not a concern at all. We can't wait to see you. Okay, great. Now let's get this build in. As you can see, I already did all the logistics. We already have gears and plate. All we're going to get is green chips coming in, and then this thing will start kicking off. But let's fix all this first. Now, I believe these are all machine 2s as well. This is a lot longer of a build because this is a lot slower process. This time, 1.5 per second of all these items only gets you 1.5 second out. So we need twice as many assemblers as the yellow belt system there. So you can see if I went with the standard assemblers for belts, it would have been a lot larger build. All right, so again, this is a 5-belt build. We will be going with power on both sides. I mean, these do get kind of boring after a while just because it's kind of the same build over and over to a certain extent. But that's, again, like I keep mentioning, why bots are so awesome is because, and wow, this is a lot of lights. Let's take some of these lights out. Probably don't need this many lights. So I might actually, yeah, once I'm done with this one and it's working, I'll probably strip out the other guys and re-ghost them just to make sure I have a good build. But yeah, once you have bots, like I was saying, then it doesn't matter if the builds are the same, right? Because you're not building them by hand, so who cares? I think that's another place I went wrong on the previous season, is, oh, I'm out of undergrounds. Okay, let's go get some more. No big deal. Should have, oh, I don't know if I resupplied that. Oh my god, I didn't. All right, well, I'll go do it real quick. Okay, there we go, I'm back. I also got some more shells just because I didn't have 100 and I like having 100 on me. If you notice, the resupply car, at least resupply train, has a whole bunch of defensive stuff on it too, so that when I have a defensive issue, I can just go there immediately. I don't have to go back to the base, main belt, right, or main bus. I can just go right there and handle the situation. So it's taking up a whole car, but I think it's probably worth it. What am I using here? Fast? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So that's another good reason to have that. Again, that's how I'm seeing my supply for building going forward, is probably just pulling that train around. But I don't know what it's going to be when I have bots. You know, I don't think a Logi network can probably keep up with what I want to do. I guess it's possible. Ooh, that's missing. That's good to know, especially since I want to re-ghost this thing. But we'll see. I know I've had a Logi network before of bots, and it sort of kept me up to speed. The problem was really when I was kind of far away from the supply of that thing, like where I kept that thing in boxes for supply was really far. So the bots would be traveling all the way across the base to resupply me with like inserters when I needed them right this second, right? So that was a bit of a pain. I'll probably have to do some research there, I guess. It is what it is. So do we have, no, we don't have chips yet because it always takes forever for these guys, their first time. to get us what we need as far as chips and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, they go right there. Yeah, there we go. I think all we need is... No, I think that's everything, right? Except I didn't do lights here. Probably should at least put the lights in since I did ghost them. There we go. Okay, lights are in. Everything's in. We just don't have the chips yet. Okay, this dude is back. Now we should be able to watch this build take off and make sure that's good before I ghost it again. Yep, chips coming in. I love seeing so many green chips. The little more... When you have more complicated stuff like green chips, it's not that complicated, but they're definitely... I think they take 3 items to build. When you see that stuff coming in, it's kind of nice. I don't know. I think it's fun. Inserters are coming out very quickly. Everybody looks like they're doing what they should do. We should get a full belt pretty much by the time it's done here. So that's all I'm really making sure. Also, let's watch this. Yeah, these guys can keep up, no problem. Okay, great. So again, we should... Where's the full belt here? Where's my full belt? This side is kind of not great. This guy is not producing. What's wrong with this guy? He can't get green chips. Why not? Are they just taking forever to actually get down here? Because these guys are eating them? Yeah, these guys are eating them. What about these guys? They're fine. It's not going all... What's wrong here? Getting 0? There we go. Maybe it's just going to take a while. Yeah, because these aren't full belts, so... Nah, they're half belts. That should be fine still. Okay, we're getting it all the way down now. It's just about a full belt. Great. Okay, so that build works. Let me build these other builds off camera. We'll be back, and then we can do engines. And with that, it's all done. As you can see, we're already full up because I only put one thing on here, right? It's only one line of this stuff. So basically, you can get a couple of train loads out of it. We don't need 70 billion of these guys. Also, this will be fueling other inserter builds. I don't know where they're going to be because they're kind of out of room right here. But that's kind of it for this. Now we can start working on the engine build, and that's going to be it. This is also one of the things I didn't talk about, really, is kind of how I merged all of these together, and we're having a gear issue. We are out of gears. Is that because we're out of plate? Yeah, it looks like we're running out of plate before we can... Yeah, it's because we ran all these systems at the same time and ran out of gears. But basically what I had to do here is route all 3 of these belts into this one build here, which is pretty interesting here, how I had to figure this out and put the splitters just right. So I basically split it and compacted it back in this way, as you can see over time. I might save this. Actually, no, I worked it down like that. I might save this. I don't know. This is a pretty slick way to do it. Let me know if you want my download to see to have these builds and how to do this. Because I don't want to build that again. Whenever I need 3 like that with two items on inside belt and then 1 belt of just full, I'm going to use that build right there probably. And you know, people always say gears is usually going to be your bottleneck. And in this case, we just might need another gear build. So wherever I do, and this should be the guy, wherever I do my next inserters, my next part of the Logi plant, I might just put another gear build. And that way, you know, I can supplement these gears with some more gears. Like just a dedicated gears pickup, so I can actually maybe I can just say go pick up from gears pickup, and there are 2 of them, right? So whatever one's available, go pick up from there. I'm not sure. I'll have to wait and see, and I might have to rip this out completely and just make a new one because this might not be enough. Okay, I'm back, and again, it has been a while, but that's okay. I'm getting kind of used to that. Really, I'm pushing to bots, so there's a lot of off-camera stuff I'm doing. I'm building all the logistics ahead of time. Again, the bots would do all this work for us when we get them. I also pulled the trains of stuff I'm going to need for this, so we don't have to wait for them. So the way this is going to work, and actually I did this wrong, is this is fast inserter, and that'll get everything we need. But because this is going across 2 belts, I need 2 long hands to keep up with the 1 fast. So that's why the thing here is a little bit different. There we go. And then see how I need some extra space. You'll see in a second. How did I run out of these? Let's get Hawk to it. I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm sure you did. The big Hawk Tua scam. I'm not sure what people are thinking. Why would you buy a coin from Hawk Tua girl? Why would you think that ever would do anything? Like, there's a lot of fairly legit coins that have died. Hawk Tua coin? Come on, bro. Like, this is an obvious scam. And you know what? It shows that a lot of people did not play Ultima Online. That's what that tells me. Let me know in the comments section if you know what I'm talking about with that game. Yeah, the original scammer game, right? Basically, if you learned how to not get scammed there, because it was completely legal in UO to scam people. That was completely okay. And it was an American company. Usually when you say that now, oh, it's like, oh, it's a Russian company or something where scamming's okay. But hey, in that game, scamming was fine. And part of it was because that's part of the spirit of that game, of the UO game. It's a living world, and whatever happens in the world is what happens. The players take care of any, consequences, right, that come of that. So I thought that was really cool. I do kind of like games like that. I think probably a spiritual successor in that regard would be like EVE Online, probably. But if you know, I'm sure you do, EVE Online's a really old game. There aren't that many new games that have that level of, hey, F around and find out kind of a thing. They just don't really exist. I would say the newest one I've seen, it's really not that new. It's new to Steam, really, is what it is. Now, this is outbound because these come in as fast as they go out. If you look, it's 1.5 in, 1.5 out. So we're going to do basically the same strategy we have on one side. We'll just do the opposite on the other side. But is it Hearth and Home? No, it's Haven and Hearth or whatever. I looked into playing that game. It's pretty hardcore. It looks like a lot of fun. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's still in. These are all 4 in. Okay. Yeah, okay, so it just does this. But the only thing I don't like about that game, which is not like Ultima Online, actually, is that, like, so there's a lot of crafting in that game. So we got pipe coming out, first of all. Pretty awesome. It's coming out full belts. That's great. That's what we want. It might slow down, but I don't think so. No, we're getting full belts all the way around. And like our other things, I think we're only doing 1 line, or are we doing 2? Why can't I click that? Oh, it's 3. Okay, that makes sense. It's kind of like gears or something. We're going to be sending this all over the factory, so that makes sense. And you know what? I'll keep talking while I have something to talk about, even though this video is getting a little long. Is that... So, Haven and Hearth is, like, the crafting system's amazing. You literally build pretty much your whole house from scratch, which I really like. But the thing that I was wondering after that, and UO is very similar. It has a lot of great crafting, a lot of great systems as far as mining and different things like that. The problem with UO is there's not enough stuff for me to do, and I get bored. Other than I don't really like PvPing in that game, so PvP is kind of out for me. I mean, I would do it sometimes probably. It's the same for EVE Online. I'm not a huge PvP fan, so I wanted to do it sometimes, but that's not the thing I want to do all the time, right? It's just a side fun for me. But Haven and Hearth, I was like, oh, well, like, what do you do once you build your house? And everybody's like, that's it. There's nothing else to do, really. It's like, oh, that's not very fun. Because, like, dude, oh, what's going on here? Oh, those aren't built. No wonder they're not getting any stuff. Okay, there we go. Like, that's not enough for me. Just building a house is not enough. I thought there'd be, like, cool dungeons, or maybe some rare stuff to do, or you can, I don't know, plant trees, or change the landscape. I don't know, something. How do I interact with the world? What's the point of having a house? It's really just people gank each other. I'm like, oh, sounds fun, I guess. But anyway, kind of interesting game. I'm gonna build the rest of this. We'll be right back. All right, this sucker is built, and it's looking pretty slick, obviously. Everything's coming in pretty fast, actually. That's a lot of pipe. That's what she said. And you can see we did the same thing as I did over there. I think it's the inserters. Might have been built. Where, yeah, it's built because I was capturing gears here so I can send them away. But also I'm capturing from the next build. And as you can see, we got everything we need. Now we got pipe, gears, and steel. Everything's already piped in. Everything's plumbed in just like it was for inserters right here. There we go. We're all set up. We just have to build this one too. But I got to go back and get a resupply because I'm running out of assembler 2s. I mean, I could craft a bunch of them. I could craft 93. Why don't we just do that? All right, we're back from all the shenanigans. Let's just get this build in. And then next episode, we're going to be doing science, which is pretty amazing. This always takes me forever to get to the science lab. In fact, last season, I did not get to a new science lab. So we're actually ahead of even that. And that's because I'm going straight for something instead of screwing around a lot. Because, well, actually, it's really just building builds that are just way bigger than they need to be. It's like too early. Like, the builds I was building last season were cool, but I didn't need those builds. Like, they just... Like, I don't need a big pipe build. Right? I have one, and it's good enough. Like, it's good for now. I don't need a just mega pipe build. You know, it's just... It's not necessary. And so by building all that stuff, again, while it was cool, it just took up a lot of my time, a lot of camera time. I mean, another thing though too is when I was doing, you know, the network and having all that, putting in all that concrete and all that stuff. Again, really cool, but takes a lot of time if you're just trying to get to like bots or whatever. All right, now we've got everything coming in. Right, all we need to do now, let's put the lights in just because, why not? We just need to put the inserters in and then we're good. And that's what I didn't check on. Do I think I have enough. I might not have enough longhand, but we will see. Now, this is a mirror build. I think this is the same exact build we've got for inserters. Yeah, I just copied it basically. And it's about the same. It's a little bit slower though, so it's even better for what we're doing. Also, the pipe really should be on its own line. Not that it's going to eat all the pipe, but it is the thing that we need twice as much of than everything else. So kind of makes sense to do it that way. What are we doing here? Okay, yeah, these are just the outputs, right? And this is going to be a super slow build. Again, it doesn't really matter. We don't need that many of these. We're only using them right now for blue science. We will use these eventually to make like probably a locomotive build, stuff like that. I'm not sure. I really only need a few of those. So I think with my future builds, as far as, you know, looking to the future on how big I want to build things, I'm not going to need giant builds for like locomotives. I just need one machine, maybe two machines making locomotives, because when I pick up like 4 of them or even 10, I'm going to replace those like this, right? So I don't need a huge build for that. So I'm going to try to make more like a mart setup kind of. Now this should actually get us engines. And I think, oh, that's right. What I noticed is the best way to think about look at these is look right there for when you need to plop these down. So again, these are going to take forever to pop out. Not concerned about balance or anything. Although we do have a balancer, so there's a whole line, and it's not going to be full. I probably could put a couple more on here. Well, actually, I actually did put a couple more. This is as much as I can put. I could squish this up a little bit and put a few more in here, but it's not super worth it. This is enough. And we're going to have a lot of engines just sitting on belts. I'm a little bit concerned with that because these are a little bit heavier. No, engines aren't that bad, but when we get into like blue science, we're going to have a lot of blue science just sitting around belts, and that stuff is kind of expensive to build. So what it is we just have a lot of resources sitting around. That's something I want to think about going forward. I did it again. Right click, left click. Okay, there we go. Let's just get this first one in. Or actually, I already did the first one. Let me build the other ones. I'll get right back to you. You know, another thing I did want to talk about while we do have time, and is this going correctly? I think so. Is Path of Exile 2. Are you guys playing it? I just downloaded it last night. I paid the $30 to get access or whatever. And then I noticed they already gave me a free access key because I spent a lot of money on Diablo or Path of Exile 1. Hopefully I said Path of Exile 2. So I have an extra key to give away, actually. So I don't know. Maybe I should do a giveaway. I mean, I think those are not something you're supposed to do anymore. I think those are against TOS now. I'm not positive on that. But maybe I'll do it on a stream or something. I think you can give them away on streams. That would be pretty sick, I think. But yeah, what do you guys think? I've only played like 10 minutes of it, maybe 20. I had to set it up and everything. That took a little bit. I had to download it. That took a while. I was on Wi-Fi. Even though my Wi-Fi is downloading at 700 megabits per second now, which is pretty slick. But I think it's just because a lot of people are trying to play right now. Oh, that's good to find before you try to finish your build, right? It looks, at least in the beginning, very similar to number 1, which is, I think, kind of not a bad idea, because I was worried that I just wouldn't know how to play the game, like it was going to be so different, and I would pick something wrong. The one thing I kind of don't like that it does is it forces you to make choices immediately that are, I think, not easy to change. I know when I play new characters, I don't like to pick up. I usually pool my my passive points for a while just because I'm not sure where I need to put them, and they're not that beneficial in the beginning. They are a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. But I had to spend my first passive point before it would let me, I want to say, identify my items, which I thought was really strange, but it is what it is. They know what they're doing. They're the experts, right? Anyway, what do you think about it? Are you playing it? I'm guessing you are. I mean, how could you not be? It's one of the biggest games to come out this year, honestly. And now Diablo 4 is going to get crushed even more than it already was, which is the same thing that happened with Diablo 3 and Path of Exile 1, except here's the thing, though. So Diablo 3 comes out, right? And we're like, it's not that great, you know, Diablo 3. Oh, I need more of these? Okay. You know, I played the beta for Diablo 3, and actually it was way better in beta, and they changed some stuff out that I was like, we were like, what are you doing? This is actually a really cool part of the game. But I guess people thought it was too hard or whatever their problem was with it. And I was like, brings longevity to the game. What are you doing? It was actually the part where you had to find items to do research with, and they took that out of the game. Oh no, you had to scrap white items. You could scrap items and it would give you like research or something like that. And we're like, dude, this is awesome. Now every item that drops is like valuable. You know, not super valuable, and maybe after a while we won't want to pick stuff up, but at least for now, they're valuable, man. And then they took that part out. We're like, what are you doing? This is like one of the coolest parts of the game. But oh, I'm out of those too. I don't know if I have any more long hands. I might have to go back. I have one more stack that might be enough. Really hoping it's enough. So a lot of people actually are complaining about Path of Exile 2 that it's too slow. I think they're just used to Zoom Path of Exile 1, but that's not the direction the devs want to go. They wanted to take some of the zoom out of it. It's really some of the just brainless parts of it away, and also because the economy was based around being so zoomy, like there was like 3 builds that are viable, and if you have something that's like you know, a little bit slower is still viable, then you have more builds that are viable. And so I don't know if it's necessarily a bad design decision. There we go. We got 3 of them set up now. Lots of engines coming in. Well, that's lots if you think about it. Let's just get this last one built in. Let me know what you think in the comment section about Path of Exile 2. I need to get this build done. This video is getting kind of long. Okay, that does it. That is the 4th line of machines or engines. And now we have, I would say, quite a bit of engines coming in. I mean, these things take a long time to build. That's why for this, it's good to have a big build because we're going to be consuming a lot of science packs. Now, if this was just for trains or something, this would be way overkill. You don't need this much stuff for like trains or something like that. You just need it for consumables, right? So that's going to do it for this build. Now, next episode, we can get to science finally. I've already got the science builds already laid out. Should go pretty quickly. In fact, we should be able to get all of science done in one build and maybe even start working on some stuff to get us to bots. We're pretty far from bots, though. Let me pull that up real quick. So we can check off engines now, right? And that's going to be actually 16. So let's just lock that off. And that is now recorded, right? But next, we're going to be doing science, right? 3 builds there. And then on the way to bots is sulfuric acid batteries, kind of a lot of oil rework here. There's a bunch of oil stuff to do. Then we could expand the robotics plant here by doing electric engines, flying robot frames, construction robots, and roboports. So there's a lot. That's probably at least 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes to get to bots, which puts us about 20. That's about good. So I'm going to lay all that stuff out again because I want to just get to the build real fast. And then we should have bots. Now, for the actual bot builds, I might not have massive builds. I do know you end up using a lot of bots, like a lot of construction bots and stuff, especially since they die when they repair your, you know, your defenses and everything. But we'll see how much of those we need because I don't want to have super huge builds all the time, just if they're just not necessary, right? Some of the stuff that's just I need a few of. I don't need hundreds or thousands of that thing. I just want small builds. So I need to look into how can I make a smart small build area that's kind of dynamic, that can take in different kinds of items and stuff. Maybe I'll have the bots go get those items and fill just different boxes and stuff. I need to do some research on that. If you have something like that in your base, I would love to see it. Put a comment in the comment section. I might start doing some base reviews. That could be really fun to do on this channel too, to see what you guys are doing, get some ideas flowing around. I will see you on the next one though. Stay frosty.